Thank you very much. Hi, I'm LembitOpik and welcome to Cats and Dogs here on Press TV. But my friends, I'm confused. Well, I mean, more confused than normal. Right now, I just don't know how I should react to the latest events in the never-ending Democrat-led efforts to prosecute outgoing US President Donald Trump. This has been the daily routine of Democrats over the past 4 years. They wake up in the morning, they shave, they drink a cup of coffee, they kiss their families goodbye for the day, and they go to work to try and impeach Donald Trump. With such mayhem in the ironically named United States, you can't help feeling a bit sorry for poor Donald. After all, what's the problem? Trump is so busy getting ready to leave the White House, he hasn't even got time to attend Biden's inauguration. All this aggravation against a man who's just lost his job. I know how that feels. I wouldn't be surprised if everyone who's ever been evicted, from Theresa May through to the untamed terrorists of Daesh, were to call on the supporters of Trump and Biden to exercise a bit of empathy. During the presidency of Barack Obama, Trump vowed to make America great again by getting back to the past. But I'm wondering now if the problem is he's taken it too far back. And I'm talking about back to the middle of the 19th century.
Receive the true Lord.
But maybe I'm being a bit unfair. After all, Trump has expressed his concern over that infamous invasion of the US Capitol building. I mean, what did that have to do with him? Apart from the fact that they were his supporters and he told them to go there and you have to be strong and fight much harder against bad people. But apart from that, nothing. Donald Trump is innocent. He's an ordinary, honest family man. In fact, he could well be the most honest president in the history of the United States ever. Generally speaking, America is surely a shining beacon of respect and tolerance, with Trump as the paragon of honesty. I mean, ask Twitter. They consider themselves so unworthy to transmit his wisdom that they've banned him from Twitter forever. If that's not a sign of respect, I don't know what is. It also means that, at last, I have more active followers than the American president. Yes. And here's another thing about Trump. Let's remember he recently fired Gabrielle Noronha, a State Department political appointee in charge of Trump's Farsi tweets, after naughty Noronha tweeted that President Donald Trump is unfit for office, also blaming him for the mob attack on the US Capitol. But hold on a second. It's true Americans seem to have something of a selective view of freedom of expression, but surely you cannot call American justice and equality into question. Maybe that's another reason Twitter banned Trump's account permanently, to punish bad Gabrielle for suggesting Trump was, well, rubbish. It's a rather modern day, biblical kind of justice. An eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth, and now a tweet for a tweet. In a separate, entirely unrelated move, Twitter, this archetype of freedom and expression, has also removed the tweets of the leader of the Islamic Revolution on Pfizer-BioNTech's COVID-19 vaccines. I wonder if Twitter Chief Executive Officer Jack Dorsey, the leader of this social media platform, is just trying to be balanced. Or could this be the spectre of something darker? Now, Trump's not going to be around to persecute Iran. Dorsey will just have to do it all himself. Maybe Jumpin' Jack should replace the tweeting bird sign with something more appropriate, like a picture of Big Brother or the Ministry of Truth. Meanwhile, the 45th President of the United States threw a lavish Christmas party, roasting some turkey and raising more than $170 million to make crazy claims about election rigging, while also pardoning his friends, his family, and, of course, himself. To borrow a phrase from Frank Capra, it's a wonderful life. Now it's time to see what our Cats and Dogs Time Machine has in store this week.
"1,000 years ago, the U.S. Army got prepared for Inauguration Day. A couple of weeks before Inauguration Day, Donald Trump was still trying new ways to stay in the White House. After Trump's supporters failed to raise the Capitol to the ground, he personally exploded the building to prevent the representatives from finalizing Biden's victory. Much to Trump's dismay, the representatives voted online. Infuriated by the move, Trump decided to blow up Biden's car. But he failed to blow up Harris's car, so she became president. Trump, who wanted to use all options on the table, decided to drop an atomic bomb in the Middle East, hoping to trigger World War III, and so to extend his term during war. But the representatives didn't vote for him online again. Eventually, the U.S. Army carried out its mission on Inauguration Day to put Harris in the Oval Office. Trump's bodyguard attacked her car, but it was too late. Trump finally realized that he had to leave the White House, otherwise he would end up in an electric chair. So he pardoned his cabinet members, his family members, and himself, and left the country with his wife, children, and grandchildren. He said that he would get back to the White House 4 years later.
Now, you may have heard in the news that Dr. Eleanor McCants-Katz, the head of the Mental Health Services Administration, has resigned in response to the assault on the US Capitol building. Now that she has no post in the dying days of the Trump administration, I'm delighted to tell you we have secured an exclusive, uncensored, sorry Twitter, phone interview with her right now.
Do you have the time to listen to me whine about nothing and everything all at once? I am one of those melodramatic fools, neurotic to the bone, no doubt about it. Sometimes I give myself the creeps. Sometimes my mind plays tricks on me. It all keeps adding up. I think I'm taking it up. Am I just paranoid? Am I just
Miss McCants-Katz, welcome to McCann's Cats and Dogs. Well, okay, welcome to Cats and Dogs then.
Well, frankly, the way things turned out, I honestly have absolutely nothing better to do. And believe me, I've tried.
think I'm grateful. Anyway, tell us, if you will, why you resigned.
Well, I felt that I am no longer qualified for the post as Assistant Secretary for Mental Health.
Why?
Because Mr. President's actions driving us towards the specter of MAD.
Ah, MAD. MAD, you mean mutually assured destruction?
No, MAD as in mad.
Literally.
Yeah, like crazy.
All right. And how did this craziness begin?
Well, about 20 years ago, when, he was still doing those reality shows, and I thought to myself...
Yeah, we all remember his reality shows, but I mean, how did the craziness begin now in the present?
Okay, well, the most recent time the president began to push me over the edge was on our trip to Florida. Trump kept trying to open the plane's window to wave to his supporters while we were still in the air. Luckily, we had a McDonald's double cheeseburger on board to distract him. He likes those.
So you control the US president with cheeseburgers?
You bet. Those cheeseburgers are something else. So the second time he really made us go a bit wedge was when he started talking about whacking Sleepy Joe, as he used to say, with a drone. Even that cheeseburger trick didn't work that time, and he went even crazier.
Wow, why?
Because they'd forgotten the mayonnaise.
No, I didn't mean the burger. I mean, why was he talking about whacking Biden?
Because back then, Biden was 3% ahead of Trump in Georgia's polling. We told him that this would cost him his presidency and that he should remain behind bars for the rest of his life.
And did that stop him?
No. He printed an Iranian flag and told us to stick it on the drone to deal with two problems at once, if you see what I mean. But the last straw came when Pence announced Biden's victory. When I rushed to the White House to see how he was taking the news, I found Trump on the rocking chair with the nuclear briefcase on his lap, saying he was going to enter the launch codes.
I guess the fact that he didn't launch any missiles means he changed his mind about the nuclear thing?
No, actually, he told us he decided to play chicken with Kim Jong-un. Like a real-life version of Risk, the board game where you invade places.
Yeah, I know it.
So then, after he opened the case and asked us all to punch in the numbers, or as he called it, to take a lucky guess in the world's biggest lotto, I handed in my notice.
Is all this true?
Sort of. Look, I've got to go. And if Donald asks you, tell him I did not have the envelope with the codes in it.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I will. Bye. Right then, well, that's all for this week. Join me next week to find out who else has lost their capacity to reason, who's still working for the Don, and whether the president got lucky with those nuclear numbers. Though I guess if he did, there won't be a show next week, will there? This is Press TV. I'm LembitOpik, and that was Cats and Dogs.